Hi, I'm Michael Imperioli, and this is The First Time. I met Martin Scorsese at the audition for Goodfellas, which was a big deal for a young Italian-American actor from New York. I knew a lot about his process. I read everything I could about him and his films, so I knew that he liked improvisation, so I was really ready to improvise.
You want a drink now? I'll bring it for you.
Yeah, well, give me a fucking drink.
Weirdly enough, I felt very free around him. And even when I got to the set and after I got cast and was with, Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci and Ray Liotta and those guys, I kind of felt like that was the type of material I should be doing for some reason, I mean, however, maybe inflated that sounds or delusional, but I did. I just felt like that he would get me. First time on Soprano set was the pilot. The first day for me was driving Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini, and we find this guy who owes us money and we almost run him over and then beat him up.
Who's that guy in Manhattan? Get out. Yeah, right there next to the boo-boo in pink.
I crashed the car that day because I didn't really know how to drive. I didn't have a driver's license, but I lied and told them that I did. They didn't even check because I wanted the job, I said sometimes the most outlandish lies to get a job. I can't believe I actually did this. I told Rosalie Joseph's cast Godfather 3. I would have done anything to be in Godfather 3 at that time, There was a part of an opera singer, and I told her that I sang opera, which I had no business saying that. And I don't know what I was gonna do, fake it. And she's like, you don't sing. I said, no, I do. I've done it before. She goes, really? I'm like, yeah. And she knew I was lying somehow. But, actors can be really, really desperate. You'll just do anything. It was Queen's A Night at the Opera. I had heard Bohemian Rhapsody on the radio. Is this the real life? It was very strange hearing a song about someone who was going to be executed. My mother was trying to convince me to buy the single because it was a lot cheaper. But for some reason, I insisted on buying that album because I had a lot of singles then, but never an album. And I'm really glad I did because it became very important. It was right after I started playing the guitar, around 1986. And weirdly enough, the band I play with now, we recorded it and it's on our album. The guys in my band they went to high school together, but they're both 17 years younger than I am, so they were probably 4 when I wrote that song. I think the first time I met James Gandolfini was on set the day that I crashed the car with him in it, which almost gave him whiplash. And he was gracious enough to laugh at the fact that I smashed the car with us in it rather than ask them to fire me and replace me. Jim was just a good guy. He liked when the wheels fell off. He had a really good sense of humor. He was a really good team player. He was very protective of the crew and the cast and wanted people to be respected and have a good time. And that all was very important to him, and a tremendous artist, really, one of the best. I started writing not long after I started acting, and I would move every year in New York City. And I would keep taking all this stuff, and I'd write plays and screenplays and fiction. And then one day, after 10 years, I had a big stack of garbage. Nothing was finished. They were all unfinished, unformed, really. I said to myself, you can't finish something because you don't have anything to say. You're more in love with the idea of being a writer, but you don't really have anything to say. And I threw all of it in the garbage. All this shit that was so precious, for all these years. And then something unlocked. And a friend of mine had an early draft of something he was working on that really inspired me. And we started writing that together. And that became Summer Sam that Spike Lee eventually directed.
I'd lay 5 to 1 to kill us from right here.
And through that idea, I realized, this is what you could say through this. There's something very specific you can say with this material. After that, I started being able to write somewhat competently. I fell in love with the show after shooting the first season. It's hard to tell from the pilot what the show is going to be. Is it a comedy? Is it a spoof? Is it a drama? What's the tone? But then when we came back and shot the rest of the first season, this 12 more episodes, every script got more unique and interesting and complex. It was dark and it was funny, and I just thought it was the greatest, you know. So I wrote a spec script between season 1 and season 2. So my first script was written for season 2. Some of that spec script made it into the show, you know, what you see when you see that episode. I was not prepared for it because I'd been there many times, right? And the Emmys, it's a big event. It's your whole industry. All the most successful people in your industry are there. And there's a lot of attention. You fly out to LA, they put you up in a nice hotel, you're wearing tuxedos, and you're nominated. And I'd been and didn't win. And it's fun and exciting. When you win, at that moment, all the energy, that whole event, when they call your name and you won, suddenly is focused all on you.
For an actor, if this is the only thing I'd done, I'd be okay with that, probably.
It was really fun because that was the first time we won Best Show. So it was a big celebration. We were up all night, you know, because like I said, we won Best Show. We went to the Governor's Ball, then the HBO party, then our own little party at the hotel, in the hotel bar, then our own little party in somebody's room, you know. So by 5 a.m, you know, we were drunk out of our minds. My wife and I go back to our room. We get in bed, she says, you know what, you won this Emmy, everybody kissing your ass, you know, gushing all over. She goes, I'm not impressed. She said, and if you had any balls, you'd take that statue and throw it in the garbage. You know, I was pretty drunk and I was like, fuck this thing. And I'd take the Emmy, throw it in the garbage. We go to bed, we pass out till like noon. And she wakes me up, she's like, why don't you call room service, get some coffee and some breakfast? I'm like, okay. She went, oh, don't forget to take your Emmy out of the garbage, pal. It's called Woke Up This Morning, and it's an oral history of The Sopranos. So most of it's interviews with the cast and crew and the creators, with interstitial pieces that are dialogue between Steve Schirripp and I from our podcast, but also connective sections that we actually just wrote for the book. One of my son's friends, he was like 15. My son told me, you know, he was going to dress up. I said, well, I actually have the sunglasses and he can borrow them. So he actually wore Christopher's sunglasses as an authentic accessory. A lot of fans were sending me this year, Christopher and Adriana more specifically. I have a black couple that sent in as Christopher and Adriana, lesbian couple as Christopher and Adriana, like very diverse group of Christopher and Adriana. It's very bizarre that people are dressing up as you, but I think it's really, really cool and very flattering, actually.